Revving up my engine, feeling that thrill. With Figure Fight Club, I'm ready to chill. Turbocharged dreams, I'm flying so high. Collecting those figures, reaching for the sky. Going turbo, can't slow down. Action figures all around. So many different scales.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Figure Showcase. Today we're going to be talking about the Legion's Con surprise drop, Koi. You can see the packaging right here. It's that typical Mythic Legions packaging that's, you know, the easy takeout and reseal type situation. I mean, again, they're normal cases. Now, this figure was interesting, right? You know, and we'll talk about it when I take it out of the box and everything. And you guys could pause that right here to read that bio. But this is Koi, the fish guy. So we're going to open him up and we'll go from there. We got him unboxed, and he comes with two pauldrons, left and right side. Some type of necklace type thing to kind of go around the neck. Just, you know, added decor. You got these fins you could attach in the back. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I do apologize for the light. I'm doing this in the middle of the night. Not normally, I do this during the day normally, but you can see the design on it. It's actually really nice paint apps on this. But this is like the fin that goes in the back without the pauldrons, and then this is the ones with the pauldrons. Kind of gives you that extra space, I think. You have total of 3 sets of hands. You got 2 gripping ones. I think one is for a sword, as you can see right here, and the other one's for the staff. Then you have some open palm hands. Then you have a tail, kind of spikes in right at the end. And this was, I thought it was very interesting too. So you have the armor, the armored head. And look at that detail, man. That's just crazy. The paint apps on this figure, I mean, Mythic Legions in general, they do a really good job with the paint apps. Really good. As you can see, it kind of glistens on the eyes. And you know, we'll talk about the figure itself, but look, so this is what I found very interesting. When you take the figure out, it's almost like it's like a faceplate, and that's literally what this is. It's a faceplate. You pop it onto like the head, but it's, you can swap out the face, and we'll take a look at that too when I look at the figure. But look at the detail on that. I just think it did a really good job. You have the sword and the staff. These comes in 2 pieces. It connects right here. It was a little tight to put it in, but I was able to get it in. You know, this is, you know, Koi, the fish guy. So we'll talk about him next. You know, just kind of show the detail. You can see it on the camera a little bit. It's like that pearly, someone had mentioned this on the open mic night, that it's kind of a pearly white. It kind of glistens a little bit, and that's really cool. I really dig what they did with that, actually. It kind of it shines like a pearl. So I thought that was really cool. You have the cloth goods right here, the belt, some armor. I don't think you could take that off, actually. So it plugs in right here to the bicep. Then you have the hands. Again, the hands have that same effect with that pearl. And then look at the detail in the hands too. That's insane. The detail, like the fishy hands too, the see-through. The fingers have that. You know, even this hand right here, you could see that the pearl effect. They did a really good job with this. And then you can see it on the leg here too, where it glistens a little bit. And then the feet are also webbed, which is nice. It's a nice touch. You know, and then the head. Look at that head. Very similar. Kind of shines. The fish just, you know, at first, when I saw pictures of it, and I was like, it doesn't look that great. I was like, whatever. You know, I saw it in packaging, and I was like, yeah, it's just a fish. I don't care. And then when you saw it with, you know, and like it was displayed loose in the Four Horsemen store at Legion's Con, it was just like, holy shit, okay, this changes everything. And you know, I saw it with the armor on, and that's really what did it for me. And now I own 6 of them. And again, just kind of admiring it. The detail on this is just insane. It's really cool what they did with it. And then what I was talking about with the head is, let me see if I can get this off. It's a little tight. I'm going to try. I guess the head came off right away. But as you can see, there's a little gap here. That should be able to pop right off. There it goes. So this plugs in like a faceplate into this. So I'm going to keep it in the armored, because I kind of like the armor look. It should be a little There you go. I heard that snap. And then you can pop that back on. That looks so much better to me with the detail. And, you know, granted, straight on, it's not a little hard, but the side look, and then you put the pauldron on and, you know, give him all his weapons. It just looks awesome. You know, this is old school Mythic Legion's articulation. He's got the poses. You could do the side pose. You know, these gaps right here always end up losing paint. As you can see on mine, you've already started seeing some of the paint coming off. That's very normal, though. With most figures in general, but mostly Mythic Legions I've noticed that with. But again, the detail on that pearly white is just amazing. He's got the old school, no double. I'm hoping in the future to do another version of this character where you get the double knee and the double elbow. I think that would be pretty cool. Just kind of give him a little bit more motion. But overall, I mean, I think it just looks nice. Posed up on the shelf. It goes well with, you know, other sea creatures, which, you know, 2026 is year of the pirates, year of the sea people. Everything sea related is coming out next year. So looking forward to that. Let's put on the armor and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. You know, I just thought of something else right when I was about to plug in the armor and stuff. You know, most Mythic Legions come with these two holes in the back. That's mostly to plug in the pauldrons that kind of go over in the back and then go over the shoulder to the front. It's a very typical thing, and from what I remember, all the one in the middle, not everyone has. Sometimes they do, just if you want to add on some like extra accessories and things like that. Some of them do have it. I don't think all of them do though. But the two holes you'll definitely see. Again, if it doesn't fit all the way in right away, don't force it. Trust me, I've been known to break figures, and I've definitely broken a few Mythic Legions in my past because I used to be all in. That used to be the only line I collected for, I'll probably say like a good year before I kind of got out of it. But, you know, if it's not fitting in, heat it up, then try it again. It'll work much better with, you know, with the Legions especially. I guess now most lines, you have to heat up your toys. And before I show the front of the figure, I did put the pauldrons on. As you can see, they just plug right back in here. And then the fin with the gaps on the side, that was definitely, I was correct in my opinion about that with the pauldrons. So it kind of doesn't, the thing doesn't get in the way. It just plugs right in and it kind of stays here. And then this neck piece just kind of sits nicely. It has a little trim in it, so it just kind of nicely sits on the fin. It has a tail. You could put that in. There's a little hole in the butt. You just plug that right in. It's a little butt plug. It works out well. And then you see the front of it now. Now this is the look where I really liked. Let me bring my camera up a little bit so you could get a better look at it. But I really dig this view. Trying to make sure like it doesn't flash too much on the figure. There you go. I like this look a lot. Now this it looks like a cool. It could be a leader. It could be like an army builder. Kind of go whichever way you want to go with this. I like the soft goods. I like the detail on the accessories. But again, Mythic Legions have been known for the details and the good paintwork. The only issue I had with them a long time ago was, you know, some of the QC issues on breakage and like some of the plastic, mostly the Alethea wave. But I bought Mythic Legion since then, and I know that problem has been fixed. I'm looking forward to the double joints that's going to come out hopefully very soon. But let me do some size comparisons. That way you guys could take a look at that. Alright, so now we're going to do some size comparisons. I have Corey here in the middle. He's standing here on to his right. On my left, it's the Varnox Unchanged from Savage Crucible. They are obviously a little size difference. You know that Koi's big. Mythic Legions are generally bigger figures, but it still works. I mean, I see a human and I see a giant sea creature or like a mutant type situation thing going on. So I feel like this works fairly well. And then you have an Action Force figure right here on the right side, to my right. And, you know, it's a little smaller, a little tinier. It could be the fact that that one is just smaller in general. It is Sidewinder with some samurai gear on, at least the helmet-wise. But we'll take a look at some other ones and see how they look. All right, guys, here's another comparison. Here you got Sparrow Toys. That's a 1/12 scale line, so it's obviously a little smaller. As I said, it, you know, Mythic Legions go kind of taller, but it kind of it really fits in well with the Mattel Motu Masterverse figures. They're almost about the same height from what I'm seeing right now, and you know, they work well. I mean, again, all three of these lines work well along with the Savage Crucible. We'll do some more comparisons to some smaller lines, and maybe guys, here's another comparison. Here we have the NECA Pee Wee Herman. That's 7/8 scale generally, and it kind of goes in. It looks like Pee Wee's a little smaller, just a little bit height wise. Then you have the kind of a monster Cesare, one of the larger figures from Cesare Studios, and you know that, I mean, this fits in because you kind of have this barbarian warrior minotaur, and then the Pee Wee one just looks funny. I like that figure. But you know, this Koi fits in with a lot of different worlds. You know, maybe not every world like Pee Wee Herman, obviously, and some humans, but it could. It just depends. It's your toys, your collection, right? So you could put it wherever the hell you want to put it. Here's a comparison with Marvel Legends. So here's your Thanos, and then the Thing. I wanted to do a bigger figure like Thanos just to see, and they're pretty much exactly the same height. Thanos probably a little bit taller. It looks good together, actually, surprisingly. Thing, I could see Thing fighting Koi. You could mix that in that world, I feel like. But, you know, they go well with that size as well. For my last size comparison, I'm looking at McFarlane here, which is, again, 7/8 scale. They're about the same height, and then you have a Mesco on the over here on the right, Two-Face, and he's a lot smaller. I don't think he fits in every world, but he definitely fits in some. Again, it's your world. You could build it however you want. But yeah, that's how it compares to McFarlane and a Mesco. You know, overall, as I said, you know, at first I wasn't feeling this figure when I saw it in packaging and images. I was like, oh, that's an easy pass. But when I went into the store, into the Four Horsemen section, and saw it in the armor, it really popped, and you know, significantly to me, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, man, let me buy one. I mean, there were, you know, limited one per line weight, but eventually the lines died down, and you were able to go back in and easily get in and buy more. They had plenty in stock at Legions Con. I mean, I came home with 6, and I almost want to find some more fish people, maybe a bigger one where you could kind of have a leader, and then you have a bunch of Kois as like the army builders or the henchmen behind them. You know, I don't think he's a leader. He seems more like a army builder, or like, you know, you have an army of Kois ready to attack and protect. He kind of fits in with Aquaman too, in a way. He could be an Aquaman villain. But you know, I'm very impressed with the paint detail. That pearl white, it just really pops, which is really nice. And then the armor is awesome. I think it's a great figure. Hope you guys like this review. Make sure to check out our lives that we do Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you guys.
Found my place, chasing the thrill. I'm never alone in this action figure world. I've made it my own.